Nessa girl, I don't even know how to intro this video without being nasty and without giving too much away. But child, the people is mad with Big Chika, man, because Chika down there talking about people cheering. And then doubling back, circling back. Well, she ain't running too far. Oh, Lord, she ain't running at all. Maybe I need to start this over. So I'm starting wrong already. Y'all know what she did. Then we got Azealia. Lord, this video just finna be one goddamn. Then we got B Simone. Lord, this video just finna be a mess. Wanna talk about it? You ain't got no choice. Here you go. So let me go ahead and start out by saying now, y'all, that this video is going to be relatively difficult for me to make, right? Because I want to make some very serious points without using some very stereotypical low-hanging fruit as jokes. So I'm going to try my hardest to get through my explanations in this video and still make it relatively comical without playing up some racial stereotypes. But anyway, we're going to start out with Big Chika, baby. Now, let me tell y'all something. I was down to the internet a few years ago minding my business like I always do, because y'all know I mind my business. I mind my business more than Tabitha Brown. I was minding my business like I always do, and I'm scrolling, and this rap came across. I forgot which one of her songs it was, and when I looked at Chika, the first thing that caught my attention was her size, her face, her skin color, because her packaging was not what we were used to as entertainment artists, and that did not repel me. It drew me in, and she was just going. I think it's the video of hers that's black and white, and she's talking about her life and just different things. And y'all know I love the conscious rap. I hate trap music with a passion. It makes my ass itch more than reggae. But and I bought into it. From that moment on, I'll be the first person to say I've never downloaded any of her music. I've never searched it, but bits and pieces of it will pop up in my feed, and I always liked it. I liked what she was about. Then she got the Calvin Klein ad. I liked all of that, and for the reasons I stated before, she was a non-traditional looking person that was thrown in the forefront of media. And when I say non-traditional looking person, I mean non-traditional according to the beauty standards that are set forth by the industry, right? And so time went on or whatever, and then as she gained popularity, because when I first got introduced to her, I thought she was just this cool, round-the-way girl that's like to hang with the fellas. And then come to find out she was part of the queer community. So that was an extra plus. And then somewhere along the way, things got nasty with her, right? She started trolling people on the internet, getting into it with people. Then she had the suicide scare. You know, she had a few of those situations in there. And then that's when it hit me that something was not right with that girl. And it was ever since the last suicide scare situation where she wrote the extensive note that I noticed a very ugly side of Chika when it comes to this internet game, right? And I don't know that girl personally. I don't know what all she's been through. I'm just speculating here. And I'm going to preface this by saying these are not my words and my thoughts, but yet the messaging that some people receives. I believe that Chika is hurt and bitter largely because the world tells her she's fat, black, dark-skinned, unattractive, non-desirable, nobody wants her, and she's not beautiful, right? You can pick up on some of the themes of anti those things in some of her music, and I'm always going to be for somebody who is anti hate on dark skin, anti hate on all those various aesthetics that a lot of people don't possess. But, guys, we got to take the time out to figure out what that messaging across the years can do to somebody. And while I don't condone much of her negative behavior, I do sympathize and I do at least try to understand where it comes from. Now, she was on the airplane, and here's what's funny about when you become somebody in the public eye, right? Had anybody else posted the picture of those two little children with the caption that Chika made, their friend circle and their family circle would have slapped 5 and be like, child, I know, honey, I can't stand when people don't watch their kids. Or I can't stand when people know their kids being loud and people trying to rest, right? And had it not come to the surface that those children belong to Zonique, more people than not probably would have laughed and agreed and commented on Chika's post like, girl, we know, because a lot of y'all parents is fucking hypocrites. Y'all don't like kids either. Y'all like y'all kids and that's it. What Chika did on the surface, and here's why I'm finna bring it home for me. What she did on the surface depending on who you ask, was not that big of a deal, right? It just happened that she happened to take the pictures of some children who have ties to a family that are more influential than Chika is. So there was a bit of backlash, and then people jumped on the train because then it became personal for them. Oh, those are Zonique's children. Zonique is non-problematic. We know Zonique. See, once y'all were able to put an identity to those children, then y'all began to feel things personally. When they were just two nondescript children, really ask yourself, more of y'all than not would have rocked with what she was saying. We all do it from time to time. We all take pictures of things that are out of place or things that annoy us or things we want to crack jokes about and on social media. Case in point, when I went to the VFW a couple weeks ago and I was taking a picture of the old man and I was calling him Earl and showing y'all everything, we all got a laugh out of it. We all got a laugh out of it. You know why I took it down? I try to live as normal of a person's life as I can. And by no stretch of the imagination am I suggesting that I have the popularity and the fame of Oprah and Beyonce, right? But more times than not, because I don't live with the celebrity big head and I don't occupy those spaces by choice, I kind of forget who I am at times. And I fuck around sometimes and I do things that people who are not public figures can do, and I forget the repercussion of those actions. That man's family followed me. And so what happened was, those people got in my comments, they started cussing me out. I was making jokes about the old man taking me to dinner and taking me around the world, and I take him for his money. The folks got in my comments talking about, you tripping, my granddaddy ain't even like that, so on and so forth. And then in addition to, I was a guest at the VFW of somebody who is very notable in the community, and they know that I was this person's guest. I didn't want to start no confusion for this gentleman who has to hang out with these people, so it was easier for me to take the photo down. I told y'all that story to illustrate this. I can see myself making the same mistake Chika did. Well, because I did in that instance. I took a picture of a nondescript man that I thought had no type of ties to my life, and lo and behold, everybody up and down my goddamn timeline knew the damn man, and it created an issue for me. Now, where the difference is, I took it down and left it alone. I didn't try to fight the bullshit. Chika, on the other hand, what she should have done was, if she just outright didn't care, she should have just took it down, not said anything, or said she was sorry. Where Chika went wrong is she tried to attribute it to her mental health, and then, adding insult to injury, goes on this diatribe about apologize for what? If I would apologize, it wouldn't be genuine. It wouldn't be. And I'm just like, Lord. Some people are so goddamn self-righteous, they just don't even know how to help their damn self. Like, listen, y'all. When keeping it real goes wrong, in our society, we have what we call social order, herd behavior. All right? It's not about the fact of if the apology, you wouldn't have meant it, so on and so forth. It's about mending fences, building bridges, keeping the peace, it being the decent thing to do, it being the courteous thing to do. She's your industry colleague. There's chances that you might see her again. Her parents are T.I. and Tiny. There takes nothing for you to have gotten Zonique's DM and been like, Zonique, not that this makes it any better. I did not know those were your children. I apologize. I was cranky. I was trying to be flippant and make jokes, and I apologize for how this may have affected you and your children. That was the proper thing to do. But instead, you low-key attacked the girl talking about they wasn't even on the plane with their mama. They was on there with a nanny, so on, so on. No. And I just don't understand for the life of me that how some people can be so stuck in their tent or their bubble of bitterness that all they know how to do is create a path of destruction wherever the fuck they go. That's who Chika is. She's the bitter, hurt, fat, ugly black girl. And again, that's not what I'm calling her. That's what the world calls her. Speaking of somebody who suffers with the same syndrome, Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks suffers with the same syndrome. Don't have the quote unquote what the magazines say is the look. You know, we know the effects that colorism has on us dark skinned folks. Doesn't have the body that the industry says she should have. And let me tell you something. For anybody listening to this or watching this video who says at one time or another that they did not struggle with their appearance or conforming to beauty norms and standards, you are lying. Because when we are teenagers and when we are in our early 20s, if your look and what you give deviates from what your society, what your community says is beauty, then we've all suffered with a level of, I wish I was different here. I wish I was that. Let me hide this. We all have. And if you ain't living. Now, if I'm talking to some of my more seasoned members of the Funky Bunch, yes, after you get to a certain age, you start getting these grays in your hair and places, your unmentionable areas, you grow into yourself and you grow to realize, this is what I got and y'all hoes got to either work with it or not. What you can do with it. Okay? This all I got, bitch. But listen, when I meet a man, honey, I take off my clothes on the first night, bitch, and I say, before you even waste any of my time, this all I got. Now, what you could do with it, okay? And if they say they can't do nothing with it, bitch, I put my clothes back on and I make sure he leave me my consultation fee on my nightstand because my time is not what? Cheap, bitch. Oh, you thought he was going to get out of here without paying me? Baby, I learned from the best. Marlo Hampton taught me well for that brief amount of time me and her was friends. High class hoeing. This ain't about Marlo. This is a serious subject. Azealia Banks is another one. Young, deviates from the norm. So now, and I want to talk about this because there's a club that Azealia Banks is one of the executive board members of. And it's the Because I'm a Black Woman Club. There's a special club for that hurt group of people who sit over there, and everything that doesn't go right or anything that brings them discomfort or pain, it's because I'm a Black woman or because I'm dark skinned. And God forbid they be fat, a Black woman, and dark skinned. It is the trifecta. All right. And they sit in that club and everything is because you're Black. No, some things are just because you're a bitch. All right. And I, for one, I go out of my way to extend grace to people and to try to understand, because I would want someone to do the same with me. And people have done the same with me in some situations in life where I wasn't even deserving of grace. All right. And that's the godly thing to do. But I've run out of grace to give Azealia Banks. And what she did and said on the internet as it relates to the passing of DC Young Fly's partner was just unforgivable. And I'm going to tell y'all what's wrong with Azealia Banks. Somebody just ain't hit her ass hard enough yet. I don't know no other way to put it. And I'm not even finna waste my time with the I don't condone violence and I'm not. The problem with Azealia Banks is somebody has not hit her ass hard enough yet. Because somebody who has the fear in them of getting their ass beat, or there being some true repercussions for their antics, would never do what she did. You sat up and held all this anger, hostility, resentment, and bitterness against DC Young Fly for how long? Now, don't get me wrong. I can't tell Azealia Banks how to feel about what transpired on the stage. DC Young Fly, for those of y'all that don't know, she went on Wildin Out, a show that is centered around roasting people. And DC Young Fly called her ugly and said they couldn't get Cardi B, so they had to get her. And it crushed her to her soul. She cried. You could see on the stage she shrank. And again, going back to what I said earlier about her having complexes about the way she looks, her physical beauty, where her beauty ranks in this society, in the colorism, because you spoke on a Black woman and compared her to a Latino woman. That was the colorism piece right there. And the reason why she was so triggered and so bothered is because that is already a source of trauma for her. Had you would have said that to Glorilla, who happens to be light-skinned, so I don't know if that's the best example. I don't know. If you pick any of the other girls and would have said that to them in a wilding out atmosphere, I think everybody would have just laughed and ran with it. You don't go on wilding out if you've got a predisposition to being joked on about certain things about your appearance. The whole show is centered around roasting people, and to get the funniest laugh from the audience, you don't give a cerebral read. You give a very visual, what's here and now. Your weight, the way your eyes look, the fact that you bald-headed, the fact that your music ain't selling. You only sold 667 copies like Latasha Scott gospel album. Things that are tangible that people can quantify in a split second. I don't think DC Young Fly went out of his way to hurt Azealia Banks, and I don't think he said anything more or less to Azealia Banks on that particular day than anyone else has said to any other cast member and or guest on that show. They were not exceptionally mean to you, all right? And you cannot make other people responsible for your trauma. You shouldn't have went on the show, or you should have had your handlers say, please don't make any jokes about her skin color or her body or her physical appearance. But to make somebody responsible for your trauma and then to hold all that bitterness and say what it is you say. Number one, Jacky Oh did not deserve that. Number two, his children didn't deserve that. Number three, her family and his family did not deserve that. And you were so mad and bitter that you would be willing to make all of those people collateral damage just to take a jab at him. And then you talking about she turned 32 on my 32nd birthday on the 31st, and trying to make it seem like you some omnipresent God that is all powerful. But yet you have been unsuccessful in having a career that's worth mentioning, you in the press outside of your antics. Like, which is another part in a layer to Azealia Banks' bitterness. I mean, she's already got the trauma and the accepting issues with the physical appearance. You get into music industry. I think one of her parents was an exec or something like that. And we're not going to knock that she has some musical talent. She does. But those doors aren't opening either. When you go on stage, people throw cans at you. They're all laughing at you. They throw things at you when you're on stage. And simply put, no one wants you. No one wants you, which has to be a very shitty feeling. But the question is, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Were you not wanted and everybody thought you were ugly and that made you bitter? Or were you bitter and that's what made everybody not want you? Either way, if your ultimate goal is to be in this business, acknowledged, well received, then you are going about it all wrong, baby girl. You're going about it all wrong. And at this point, with cancel culture and all that's going on, I think that this is the final nail in the coffin from the court of public opinion when it comes to Azealia Banks. Now, granted, I'm a little bit older. I did not know who Jacky Oh was, nor had I seen her prior to her passing. But the little bits and pieces that I have seen, she comes across as non-problematic. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about this young lady. She died and got 3 children. Most of the people in Azalea's age bracket are parents that are going to relate on a visceral level to this. Not a good look, mama, and you need help and prayer. Stop boiling cats and boil a Bible. Oh, Lord. Why are we on the topic of Jacky Oh? We're talking about B. Simone. Never met B. Simone. Never watched much of her stuff. I don't have anything negative to say about her. I just have to say she's not my cup of tea. And I'm going to leave it at that. Her content, the things she talks about, and maybe it's an age thing. I don't know how much younger than me she is. I'm 39. I don't know how old she is. I guess I could look it up. Either way, we're just not in the same place mentally. That therefore, I don't enjoy her content. I kind of cringe at it. She comes off a little loud and obnoxious to me. But that's not to say that she's a bad person or the content that she makes is bad. It's just not for me. But I will say, publicizing that your fans can get an inside look into your grieving process over this if they continue to subscribe to your fandom account or whatever it is. That's tacky. It's opportunistic. It further lends itself to why there's a section of people out there who don't like you. I understand that she's always had this account about where she shows her inner circle in her private life. I get that. It really makes me question, your true level of connection that you had with this young lady, your true level of friendship. And if that's not to be in question, then I have to question where we went wrong with this younger generation. Because I know for me, when I lose people or I'm going through that level of pain, making money is the last thing on my mind. Making content is the last thing on my mind. and having an active camera in my face to record things for y'all to comment on is the last thing that is running through my mind. I don't know who raised y'all hoes and what type of newfangled grief it is that y'all go through, but when I'm grieving, I want to be left the fuck alone and close all the blinds in my house and order delivery food and just sit in the quiet and watch TV until I get out of my funk, and only talk and surround myself with the people who are going through the same situation that I'm going through in the moment, and not. I just don't understand how you grieve and then you go sit in front of your computer and be like, oh, let me edit this clip. Oh yeah, this was a good clip from us crying when we was at Shanika house. Let me upload that one. The fans will really like that one. How does that work? Very tacky. And y'all need to understand, tacky is not going to grant you longevity. Now, if you in it for the short run, if you in it for a good time, are you in it for a good time or a long time? Because see, what a lot of y'all don't understand is that the people who are the gatekeepers to the long time, they didn't make it that far in the industry and make it to being gatekeepers, being tacky, not having any couth, and they remember these types of things. And these types of things will make people make a mental note that they don't want to work with you, or they're only going to allow you to get but so far. And some people you can rub the wrong way. They'll make it their business to put a roadblock up or make it difficult for you. Granted, can't no man undo what God says going to be done, but they can damn sure make it difficult for you. And you got to remember that type of thing. People remember those types of things. And when people make judgments about your character, seldom do they change what they think. It takes a very long time to convince somebody otherwise after they've made a judgment about your character. So B. Simone, I think the whole world finds that tacky. And you should probably put out a statement or just not do it. You know, you get on the internet and purport that you're so rich. If you that doggone rich, why not forego for that month the additional money that you was going to make with people, new subscribers, subscribing to see you and your homegirls crying. And it's just tacky, mama. What's the last thing I had on this thing, on this long ass video? Oh, that was it. It ended at B. Simone. Okay. Oh, no, it wasn't. Jacky Oh. Is this a safe space? When the young lady first died, my initial response, and I'm sure a lot of y'all's initial response was, she didn't even have no business going down there to get that damn plastic surgery. She was beautiful. And don't say it wasn't. Obviously, it's very insensitive to say this type of thing that I just said out loud when a family is grieving, right? Like, it's too late for that. But a lot of us thought that. And it's brought a lot of awareness around this elective surgery. You know, every time you get put to sleep, you are taking a chance that you may not wake up, number one, when you go to get these surgeries. And then number two, it took Dr. DeBro from Botched and Beverly Hills Housewives. He was on TMZ explaining why the BBL was the most dangerous surgery out there. And I just thought people were lying when they said that. But his explanation was that in the buttocks in particular, that there are a whole bunch of very, very, very small capillaries. And that if you make a mistake and get fat, as they're injecting fat into your butt, if any bit of fat gets in one of those capillaries, the capillaries in the butt lead to some other larger veins somewhere that leads straight to your heart or whatever. Now, granted, I have not read any type of medical report She didn't die on the table. They found her dead in the hotel room. They found her non-responsive. We don't know at this point if that's what happened or not. But the reality of the situation is, if this was the 90s or the 2000s, by every stretch of the imagination, that girl would have been considered drop dead gorgeous, beautiful. She still was. And after having 3 kids, she would have still been considered the cat's meow, because that's just where culture was during that time. Yes, there were people getting surgery. Boob jobs were a big thing back then, but it was the rich and the famous and the elite that were getting these secret procedures that the rest of us didn't know about. They are giving out BBLs like they free condoms at a goddamn club, okay? Like everybody, tummy tucks 5,000, a new set of titties 3,000. They doing buy one get one half off specials to convince you and your homegirl to come down here and get botched together. I mean, this surgery thing is just out of control. And for those of y'all considering getting surgery, please look at the latest trend. We're starting to have a reverse trend of now everybody is getting their ass reduced. Now everybody wants to get what was put in their ass taken out. Now, if you're just getting the BBL, getting your own fat in, I don't know if those girls are resentful. I know that Tammy Roman has got on the radio and said she regrets getting her butt shots, that her ass is too big. If you go to Coach Stormy page, she been in goddamn Colombia right now for almost 30 damn days getting her butt shots taken out and reduced. K. Michelle almost lost her damn life surrounding hers. And I'm here to tell y'all Cardi B gonna be next. I looked at Cardi on that Summerfest stuff. It's quiet as it's kept. She looked like she went and got some damn mo because the way her hips come out. But she gonna be next. And I keep telling all the girls, it's one thing to look at somebody and say your fashions is dated. It's another to look at somebody and say your body is dated. The girls that's going to be able to date y'all bodies and be like, oh girl, you was a thought in 2015. You was a thought in them 2020s. You was an old club hoe. How do you know? We can tell by your body. Because your booty drooping to your knees. You're jiggling, baby. Go ahead, baby. You're jiggling, baby. Your ass and your leg look like a dead flower. Ass just slumped over. You know how when a rose died and just slump over? Because that's what all y'all hoes going to look like. Here's y'all don't want to work out. And then some of y'all bitches going and getting the lipo 2 and 3 times. The Lord blessed you with the money and you cheated once. Why not just maintain it? You just going to keep going back. And then y'all be mixing up fat with fine. Because when y'all go get these BBLs and shit like Shekinah stomach flat or whatever, and because y'all stomach be flat, y'all be keep eating and y'all be keep getting bigger. And y'all go get everything sucked out except y'all bike. Why when y'all go get snatched, y'all forget to snatch y'all bike? Y'all make everything small and leave y'all bike big. Why? And because y'all be shapely with it, y'all be keep on eating, and you be thinking you fine because you shapely, but it's you fat. And then be clogging up. This is a whole nother video I'm going to do later. Be at the gym, taking pictures like you working out as if somebody believes your ant-shaped ass worked out. Nevertheless, when we got the news of her passing, at first my feelings were all over the place. I didn't know what I was feeling, and they quickly turned into like upset, disappointment, and anger at the same time, because the only thing that kept going through my mind, and to her family and friends, I don't mean to sound insensitive or add to your pain, but the only thing that was going through my mind, if I was to be honest, is that her ass ain't had no business getting that damn surgery in the first place. And the fact that 3 children lost their mama over a piss poor decision. Which brings me to the next point. We gotta have a conversation about who is putting these pressure on women to get these surgeries and to look a certain way. Is it the industry? Is it the men? Is it other women? Is it a combination of? Then why isn't there another coalition of women who are sending messages in the other direction to counteract some of this stuff? Because her death, you would think, would be a wake-up call to some people, but it's not going to be. If anything, it shed more light to the surgery situations. The only person that's going to suffer in this is that doctor. People are still going to flock in droves to get these surgeries. Anyway, this has gotten lengthy. we still feel bad. I think the young lady's service is this weekend, according to what I saw. And DC Young Fly has finally spoken out about the situation. So we just gonna continue praying for him, y'all. And y'all drop that in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're new around these parts. And I'm gonna try to squeeze one more video in. It's 11:46. I gotta be at the radio station at 2. I'm gonna try to squeeze one more in before I get out of here. But if not, I'll call y'all hoes over the weekend. Bah!